Be heard.
Be heard.
Be heard.
This is 94.5 PST's Be Seen, Be Heard. Let's Vote podcast, connecting you directly with local officials so your voice is heard this November.
Hey, it's Joe from 94.5 PST's Chris and the Crew. At 94.5 PST, we get to voice our opinions on the air each and every day, and this November, you'll have the chance to be heard in the upcoming general election. Your vote plays a vital role in our nation's democracy. That's why we've created a hub of voter information and resources online at 945pst.com and on the PST app. Our voter guide will provide you with links for everything from registering to vote to tracking a mail-in ballot in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey. That's at 945pst.com/vote2020 and always on the PST app. And on this podcast, over the next couple of weeks, we'll be connecting you directly with local officials to help guide you through the process as we bring your questions to them. And on today's episode, we know you have questions about voting in New Jersey. Earlier this year, Governor Phil Murphy signed an executive order which called for every registered voter to receive a mail-in ballot ahead of November's general election. Of course, this means that Election Day will look significantly different across the Garden State than it has in years past. So we brought your questions about everything from voter registration to the safety of mail-in ballots and more to the director of New Jersey's Division of Elections, Robert Giles. As the deadline approaches, our first questions were about registering to vote.
So we'll start with the deadline. For New Jersey, it's October 13th. In order to register to vote, we need to either have your registration, you can have it postmarked by October 13th. You can drop it off in person at your county board of elections. You can bring it to your municipal clerk. Or you can go, and what is new and just started this year, is online voter registration in New Jersey. It'll afford you the opportunity to go online and register right there, and you can do that at vote.nj.gov, either using your driver's license number or the last four digits of your Social Security number. So if you use your driver's license number, you don't have to do anything additional with your signature, but if you're going to use the last four digits of your Social Security number, you have to have the ability to either sign on screen using a tablet or your phone, or you have to have a signature on file you can upload into the online voter registration system. Vote.nj.gov.
If you're unsure if your voter registration information is current, or maybe you're not sure if you're registered to vote yet, there's still time to check the status of your registration.
We also have a feature called Am I Registered? So we're recommending that voters go into that first to check their record, to see if they're registered to vote, to see if their status is active versus inactive. And then from there, if they need to update their record, then go into the online voter registration system or reach out to your county commissioner of registration. If you have any questions, or any of the ways you can register to vote are the same ways you can update your record.
And yes, there's been a lot of chatter about the safety of mail-in ballots this year, so we found out about the process in New Jersey.
So the process of mail-in ballots been going on for a long time. We years ago, it used to be called absentee voting. Then in 2009, we changed the law, and now we call it vote by mail or a mail-in ballot. And you don't need an excuse. Prior to 2009, you needed a reason to vote. That's why they called it an absentee ballot. So we've been doing it regularly for a long time. And then a few years ago, we added the feature where you can get your vote-by-mail ballot permanently. So we have about 600,000 voters that permanently vote by mail. So it's not something new to the state, and we've been doing it myself. I've been voting by mail for over 20 years due to my job that I'm usually working on Election Day. So I would say it's safe from that perspective. We have a lot of experience with it. And, you know, when people look at utilizing the post office, there's millions and millions of transactions that occur through the post office. And for the most part, it's a very safe way to send your ballot in. We have some videos we put out that kind of talk about the, vote sign, seal return. And you can, if you still have questions, you can reach out to your county election officials or the Division of Elections, and somebody will assist you with that. But there's definitely resources available to voters.
And while the state has been accepting mail-in ballots for years, this might be the first time for many of us that we are voting by mail.
Yes, so all active registered voters will receive a vote-by-mail ballot automatically this year. So that's why one of the things we're having voters do is, if they have not received their ballot, a good thing to do is go to our portal and check the Am I Registered to see if you're active or inactive. If you are an inactive voter currently, there's about 400,000 of those in the state. You would have to correct your record in order to get a ballot mailed to you, and you can do that by reaching out to your county commissioner of registration. You can go to the online voter registration. There's a couple different ways you can do that. So every active registered voter will be receiving a ballot automatically. Each ballot will come, you'll get a packet, and in there will be instructions on how to vote the ballot. Some of the keys are, make sure, depending on how the ballot's laid out, sometimes a ballot may have front and back. You may have candidates on the front and questions on the back, so always flip your ballot over and make sure if there's two sides to it. Some counties will have two-page ballots. You'll have the first page and a second page, and what you want to do is make sure you fill in the ovals next to the candidates or questions you want to vote for. Then we have a saying, vote, sign, seal, return. So you want to vote your ballot, then you're going to put it in a certificate envelope, and you will seal that envelope, and there's a certificate attached to it. We want you to fill that out and sign that, but do not detach it. That's one of the issues we run into. People will detach that certificate. Sometimes they'll put it in into the envelope. Sometimes it won't come back with it. So it's really important. That's a really important message to get out, that do not detach that certificate from the envelope. Then put that sealed envelope into the return envelope, and then you have multiple options to return that ballot. If you send it by USPS, it's already prepaid first-class mail, so there's no postage necessary. You can bring it to one of our secure drop boxes throughout your county. You can bring it to your county board of elections office, or on election day, you can bring it to your polling place. And the one distinction on election day at the polling place, only you, the voter, can bring your ballot to your polling place. The other options, you could have what's called a bearer. Somebody could bring it there for you. There's a place on the envelope for them to fill out that they're taking your ballot and transporting it for you. But on election day at the polling place, only the voter can return their ballot.
We ask for more details about those ballot drop boxes, which are located in every county across the state.
So we have on the vote.nj.gov, we have a list of all of the counties' drop boxes. So if you go to our webpage, you'll be able to find out all the locations in your county. You can reach out to your county board of elections. A lot of if they have their website, they'll have it on there as well. So there's multiple ways of finding that out. And in addition, you'll be receiving what we're calling a notice in lieu of a sample ballot, because we're not sending out sample ballots this year. And in that notice, we'll also list where the drop boxes are, and it will tell you where your polling place is should you want to return it to your polling place on election day. As far as being secure, yes, we're very confident. They're metal boxes secured to the ground. The slots very small, just so you can get the ballot in there. They are picked up every day. The ballots are picked up from those boxes, and they are under surveillance by video camera 24/7. So we feel very confident that if you want to utilize that as the way to deliver your ballot, you should be confident that it is safe and secure.
And you can actually track your mail-in ballot every step of the way, from your county clerk's office to your mailbox to when the ballot has been received.
Yes. So again, if you go to vote.nj.gov, we have you can go that way, or you can go to another site we call trackmyballot.nj.gov. Either one of those locations will bring you to where you can set up an account for yourself, your voter record account. And within that, once you sign up for it, you will be able to track your ballot. It'll tell you when it was mailed out to you from the county, and it'll also tell you when the county has received your ballot. So you'll be able to know that it's been mailed to you, and you'll also know that it's been returned to the county.
And I asked the director to repeat exactly the ways ballots can be received.
Just to be clear, the ways to return your ballot are through the U.S. Post Office. You can bring it to your county board of elections office. You can put it in one of the secure drop boxes throughout your county, or you can bring your ballot to your polling place on election day.
And perhaps you're one of the New Jerseyans who wants to vote in person this year. That will also be a different experience, as you'll be handed a provisional ballot.
Correct. So what we've done this year for the November general election is every town has to have at least one polling place open, and countywide they have to have a total of 50% of their polling places open. So when you get this notice in the mail telling you where your polling place is, it may not be where your normal polling place is in other years because of the consolidation and the reduction in number of locations. But please look at that. Also, you can go to the website and look up your polling place there as well. So there's a couple different ways to find out where your polling place is. And when you arrive at your polling place, there are basically going to be three types of voting occurring at a polling place. The main one is if you want to go and vote in person, you will be given a paper provisional ballot. You will not be voting on a voting machine. Except if you are a voter with a disability, we will have an ADA-compliant voting device for you. So if you're somebody who cannot vote independently on a paper ballot, we will have that accommodation at every location for those voters. And also you'll have the ability to drop off your vote-by-mail ballot right at your polling place. So if you feel most comfortable that you want to hand off your ballot to an election official, bring it to your polling place on election day, and they will be set up. There will be a drop box inside the polling place where you can bring your ballot right there.
And overall, how can we be prepared for the upcoming election?
The couple points that we really want to hammer home is check the Am I Registered on the vote.nj.gov page just to make sure your record is up to date and you are registered. When you vote your vote-by-mail ballot, again, do not detach that certificate. That can cause you to be disenfranchised, basically, because we won't have that information. We won't be able to count that ballot if you detach that. We won't know who you are. We won't have your signature to compare it to. So I think those are two of the biggest things. Be prepared. Check your voter record and really read the instructions for your vote-by-mail ballot and make sure you fill it out right.
Again, voting resources can be found online at vote.nj.gov. Our thanks to New Jersey's Division of Elections and its director, Robert Giles, for his time on today's program. We'll be highlighting more regions and topics in the coming weeks on our podcast, so be sure to subscribe. If you have a question for an elected official, send it to us on our station app.
Be heard. Be heard. Be heard. For the latest info and voter resources for New Jersey and Pennsylvania, visit the Vote 2020 page on the PST app or at 945pst.com.